Back to community questions. I had a question about medical appointments, and of course many of us spend a lot of time going to medical appointments that can be stressful, traumatic for a number of reasons. Many of us have experienced medical trauma and have PTSD. Many of my clients sort of say that they have medical fatigue, that they're so tired of constantly going from one appointment to the other, explaining themselves over and over again, hoping, praying that that person understands what they're talking about and won't dismiss them. I think in the back of our minds, we always have that fear that I'm going to go there, I'm going to be open and honest, and then the person is just going to dismiss me as, God forbid, hypochondriac and just suffering from anxiety, etc., etc. Or saying they don't know, or that there's nothing wrong with you, your tests were all clear. We've all been there, we've all heard that, and it's heartbreaking, of course. We invest a lot, don't we? Time, energy, emotions. We invest a lot in these medical appointments, and they can sadly often be disappointing. I hear about this all the time, pretty much every day. What I thought, because I've just had a situation, it wasn't a medical appointment, but I was in a situation this week where I had to do a lot of sitting around, a lot of standing around, and I was doing movement snacks because I hate sitting still, I hate standing still. I've got POTS as well, so I hate standing still. And I just thought, well, it would be really helpful, and maybe it might be helpful to you, I hope so, if we had a little routine that we could do, have in the back of our mind, even just one or two things we could do when we're at these medical appointments or anywhere else where you might have to stand around for a long time, just to help, little tiny movement snacks that can just help get us through difficult times, physically or emotionally stressful times, and things that you can do discreetly, so that people aren't going to sort of, because typically you're probably going to be in a public place, right? So, something discreet so people don't sort of give you sort of funny looks while you're doing it. So I've got a chair behind me. Hopefully you'll be able to see. I will adjust the camera if you can't. But I thought we'd do sort of a medical appointment movement snack toolkit. Yeah. So hope it's helpful. So, if you've got a chair, come and grab your chair, sit on your chair. If you've got a back, then that's great as well. So I'll do a little bit of sitting, a little bit of standing for this, okay? So get yourself comfy in your chair, and what I'd actually like to do, so say we arrive, we sit down. If it's possible, I would invite you to first, when you first arrive, just to calm the nervous system down, is, if you feel safe, to close your eyes just for a moment. Just shut out all the noise and all the smells and all the, the chaos that might be around you, and just take a moment to close your eyes and kind of ground yourself by feeling the feedback you're getting through the floor, if your feet are touching the ground, through the chair, maybe through the back of the chair, because that will give you a sense of yourself and it will make you feel connected, okay? So just take a moment to feel your own body touching the floor or the surface. And then, if you feel comfortable to do so, I invite you to just put your hands on your own bodies, preferably if you can around sort of your chest or your heart, where obviously a lot of emotions get stored. So can we kind of just rest our hands somewhere, if it's comfortable for your shoulders, of course. And you might feel your heart beating, but having the comfort and the warmth and the weight of touch. Touch is such a comfort. And we can do this to ourselves. We can touch a body part, and that can give us some care and attention. And especially when you're worried about something and your mind's racing, Just having, even if this is the only thing you did, and just took 3 or 4 breaths, just to feel and connect with yourself, I think can be super, super helpful. Good. And notice how maybe your breathing slows down a little bit. Because of course, the benefits of doing this before we go into a big appointment is that the calmer we are, the clearer our thoughts will be, the clearer our thought processes may be. We might be able to communicate our needs better as well. You know, if we're stressed, it's a well-known fact that we don't think, we're not as clear-headed when we're under stress. Yeah, so giving yourself a few moments before you get called into the doctors or whoever to just clear your mind. Good. And then you can just let your hands come back. You can open your eyes if you feel better to do so. And then I'm just going to, you can't really see my feet, but I'm just lifting alternate heels up. So I'm just getting a little bit of calf pump going, because if I've got POTS as well, I'm just going to get that moving. So just very soft, gentle, alternate calf pumps. That's it. Good. Okay, and then I'm just going to roll my shoulders, because again, that's an area where my shoulders are crunching. I hope you can't hear that. My shoulders are, people often ask me, oh, I've got bits of my body that crack and pop. My right shoulder has made this crunching noise since I was about the age of 12. And I think it's just the way I am. No amount of exercise or muscle tone or anything has ever got rid of this crunchy noise. So sometimes we just make noises, I think, when you've got hypermobility. But as I was saying, this is an area obviously where we can store a lot of tension. So just gently doing a few shoulder rolls can just release some of that upper trap tension. And then if it's accessible to you, and you might want to do one hand at a time, again, touch. So if you are someone who stores a lot of tension up here, and maybe you get headaches, etc., just rest your hand on, you could do both at the same time. That's quite comfortable actually, because the weight of your arms rests on your chest. And again, just let your weight of your hands rest on your shoulders, or your, sorry, not your shoulders, your upper sort of traps here, your top of your shoulders. And if your fingers allow, because I know many of us have got hypermobile fingers, you could just gently press. Again, it's sort of a self-massage. Don't go digging too deep. Remember, the fascia likes a gentle touch. But just a little sort of, yeah, I hear you. It's okay. I know this is a stressful situation for us. But we can breathe. We're going to be okay. Okay, just a little bit of reassurance to calm the nervous system down. Okay. Good. Okay, so we've done a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of breathing, a little bit of lower leg. Again, no one's going to look at us too strangely if we just do a little bit of spinal rotation. Keep those hands on your chest so you're not tempted to overdo the shoulder movement. And we can just move our thorax a little bit. And we can also just do a little side bend. No one's going to notice. Just a little baby side bend. Again, just get that thorax moving. It's going to help our breathing. We'll be able to take a fuller breath. We'll feel calmer. Lovely. Okay. If there's space, and you might need to shuffle forward a little bit, I'll just turn sideways so you can see if you've got the room. And again, not all chairs in hospitals are suitable, and they might be padded chairs, etc. But you might just want to do a little release of your lower back, a little movement of the pelvis. Again, don't push. Don't do this. Just gently roll the pelvis. See how small it is? Again, just get that lower back. Again, that's another area we can hold a lot of stress and tension. Can I just move that a little bit? Good. Okay. Now, if you're in a situation where you are standing for any length of time, so I'm just going to come up to stand. Apologies that you can't see me now, all of me, but you'll be able to see hopefully what I'm doing. So little things I like to do when I have to stand for any length of time is walking on the spot, and I'm holding on, so you might be able to hold on to a wall or something if you're in a public space. If you can't hold on, we can still do this gently, just walking on the spot. Now this is good if you've got POTS, because obviously it's going to get the calf pump working, helps pump the blood up the legs, stops the pooling that can often happen, okay? And if you've got the ability, you could lift both heels. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit more effort. But again, you're getting the calf pump working. You're also working on your foot and ankle stability, which is fabulous. Okay, only go up to the balls of the feet. Try not to hyperextend. Obviously, we'll probably be wearing shoes or trainers or something when we're doing this, so it'll be harder to hyperextend anyway. Okay. And again, if it doesn't look too strange, if you can hold on, I quite like just standing on one leg, and even if I hold it a little bit, just to work a little bit on my stability, get the bigger leg muscles moving. Okay, you might just want to do this. I mean, this doesn't look too strange in a public space if you're just sort of marching on the spot. And the only time I ever advocate squeezing, because you know that's a word that I don't use very often, or hopefully not at all in my classes. If you've got POTS and you are having to stand for any length of time and you're starting to feel a little bit dizzy, woozy, black stars, etc., squeeze your bottom. Okay, so it's the only time I say that we can squeeze. But if I'm starting to feel a bit funny, I'm going to give my bottom a little bit of a squeeze. That obviously causes a constriction in the veins, and again help with the blood pump. So again, gentle. I'm just squeezing and letting go, squeezing and letting go. Okay, so that can also help if you're starting to feel a little bit funny. When you're having to be waiting in a corridor or something like that, or things like airports. Those of you that travel, you know, I hate that, waiting in queue for the security, passports, etc. Squeeze your bottom a little bit, okay, gently, okay, but that can help. So I hope that was useful. Again, I was doing these things all week just to get me through. Little movement snacks, didn't do them all at the same time. Whenever I had the opportunity, I just did a few little moves just to keep my tissue moving, because I was sitting around for an awful long time, and you know, being stuck in one place for a long time isn't good for any of us. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if you ever use it when you go to any appointments or activities. I'd love to know if it helps. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.